You want to turn the laptop around, Pat?
I can.
Want to turn it around and you can see us? Can you see us now, Dave?
A little more, Becky. There you are.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
All right. Sort of kind of got it going. We'll get this figured out one of these days.
Tom not coming?
I didn't see.
Oh,
He didn't
it's
respond.
Tom now.
Do you know if Tom's coming?
He might be still in Italy.
Oh, true story.
Okay, well, he may not be coming.
He's probably not coming if he's in Italy.
I wouldn't come if I'm in Italy.
Boy, that's after. I'd be happy having dinner and a drink.
He's not even thinking of us, right?
Here we go again. No cords. No plugs, huh? They're killing me.
What do you need? Oh, are you dying?
I'm dying already. I'll go on the big cord. So it is, this is I'll just chat as I go. Comprehensive committee meeting, roll call from left to.
Don Hernan, 33 Murphy's Way.
Peg McDonald, 896 Clarkswood Road.
Almost near Michelle Felicetti, Redbrook Drive.
Kim Rollins, 49 Brock Road.
Dave Alves, cyberspace.
Living in the box. All right, so a few little kind of tidbits. Did I send you guys the updated sheet, kind of what I've done and since and like notes?
I don't think so.
I fear it's on my other computer at work and I'm not allowed to sync that one. I can't.
No, it's,
be
you
in the
can't
cloud
keep.
with
Mm-hmm.
Roll.
Yep.
I have restrictions. So I usually try to forward things to myself and I may not do that. So I'll pull up the last notes that we had and kind of
That's where we are.
go over that where we were. Does anyone else need to plug in? Because I have extra plugs. Anybody?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That'd be kind of funny.
No, probably not.
Can't afford the trip.
Just a little bit. All right. So, let's see. Right folder.
I hope you don't have a meeting.
It's Friday.
Right, that's fine. Okay.
All right, there it is. So maybe I did put it in here. So, okay. So I have the meeting notes from last week. Well, last time we met on the 10th. And we all kind of had things that we were supposed to do. Does everyone remember that?
I wasn't here, so I was on Zoom. I don't remember me having
You had a
something.
list so long.
Shut up.
So, for instance, Southern Maine Agency on Aging, Elder Services, Michelle. So I wasn't able to reach out to them, and I had a really great conversation with them. And there's another person they have to get me in contact with over there that potentially is going to have a nice packet of information of what are the best services for a town for an aging population. So they're going to be sending me things that they have found in communities around here. Even they have a list of the Lyman residents that use their services. We won't have names, so rest assured it's all privacy. But we're going to know how many people use Meals on Wheels, how many people go to them for transportation issues or medication issues. So they're going to provide us with all this data to help us kind of guide like what we might need. Do we need a package store in town? Do we need a small pharmacy? You know, little things that might make the difference for us as we plan things. So they'll be getting back to me in the next week or so. So I was able to do that. As far as, I'll just address my stuff and then I'll go to everyone else. So I also reached out to the state of Maine regarding aquifers in our town and also about hydrologists. So basically, I wound up speaking to this amazingly smart woman over at, she's in charge of like the maps, like for bedrock and sand and gravel water. And she sent me over, showed me how to get to the map regarding Lyman. So right now I need to find someone that can do an overlay of our town map on top of this one. Because basically, we have some honey pots for aquifers. So if some of our town land is sitting on these, we're in really good shape to potentially have town water down the road. Again, this is just future planning for anyone listening. It's to protect the land, make sure the land is protected. It's not near anything that could be built that may impact the water source as well. So this is just protection of potential water source for the town into the future, even as things come in to be built in this town before we ever get to that point. So she has referred me to the Maine Drinking Water Program, which is an umbrella underneath the CDC. The CDC is in charge of all town water through the Maine Drinking Water Program. So there's a woman named Denise there that I'm been waiting to get in contact with. And for her, I'm gonna find out kind of like how this works, how you get from A to B. What are the rules of the road? What are the regulations? What do we need to know? Do we need a hydrologist? What do we need to know to secure a water source in the sense that is approved by the state?
Would
So-
that maybe, are you thinking in terms of the town buying land or taking land?
No, the land we already have.
Oh, okay,
The
you're saying
the land we
the
already
town
have,
has,
the town has.
not individuals.
Correct.
Okay,
This is land that the town has that potentially lands on one of these aquifers
Okay.
that are in town.
and hopefully she knows that information. She may.
That's why I need
Yeah,
someone
put
to
the
do
overlay
overlay on.
Yeah.
And Lindsay might be able to have someone that can do that for us.
Yeah, yeah.
So I
Well,
could,
but don't forget, by default, you're gonna have a resource protection area
Yep.
over, any and all of that. So it may affect, other people.
it was actually crazy how much of our town is a bedrock and sand. Does everyone know the difference?
No, why don't
So
you
bedrock water sources are like, you have bedrock that's cracked and the water comes through, right?
Okay.
It's from where like things landed from glacier days and there's big rocks and the cracks in the water as it rains comes through and then you can drill down and get water through there. Sand and gravel aquifers are considered the gold honeypot. Because basically it's just all comes through and it's all filtered through the sand and gravel and it's almost like limitless. It's not like you have to drill through rock to get to it and it's a really huge source of flowing water. So that's the difference between bedrock water and sand and gravel water, from my understanding from my lovely
Okay.
conversation today. So this is still my lay explanation for anyone saying she said it wrong, okay?
Well, what was this, Dave, what was that you were saying about the resource protection area, please?
Well, I mean, when you find a portion of the town land, there's going to be so much of the aquifer that it's going to be on, but that aquifer also stretches beyond the land. That becomes a resource protection, and it does affect homeowners. So I don't want to whitewash that. That's
Correct.
I mean,
No.
how does it affect homeowners in the sense that,
well, there are certain things you can't do. You can't salt. You can't, have an oil changing company, a gas station, things of that nature. I mean, where we are so rural, it may not affect any of those things. And if those things are in effect already, it won't affect it. But, they do put restrictions on certain activities in a resource protection area.
but right now we don't have any designated, is that a correct thought?
That's correct.
Okay.
And I did learn that that's kind of why York has like that 5-acre limit with drilled wells. It's only in certain areas that are considered part of the water resource to the York Water District and the Kittery Water District. So those areas have been designated as 5-acre minimums for wells so that there only are a certain number of wells per acreage area.
So like just for a general, just look real quick, and this is gonna be a little spanning into Dayton and Arundel and Lyman. This
Oh, that, what?
this here is Lyman here.
Yeah.
I'll show you in a second.
Oh, I
So
dug
part of
into
the,
that
so you've been to that.
file you
Okay.
said.
Yeah.
So this is where we are, and there's like, this is like, okay, so over here is Kennybunk Pond, here's Wadley, here's Roberts. Nuts over here. So this is where we're looking at this portion of town, so it's finding out, and these are also still, all the yellow are still usable for water source.
Mhm.
But this would be our gold plot if we own any
The
land,
red
if the town owns any land there. Here you get up into Dayton and Arundel.
Yeah.
So, and like one of them way up here, it's kind of funny, I think Dayton's salt shed is there, right? So it's kind of like, that's something you would not want to do. That's what Dave's talking about. So this is what we have to look into, there's one over here, what does the town own? What is it near? Who would it impact if it became a source of town water?
Well,
So-
would this information need to go to Southern Maine Regional Planning so that they, assuming, well, maybe you're gonna get into that a little bit. I mean,
We can do that homework. We shouldn't have to,
have to mess with
You
it.
know, if
we've already done more work than we have to pay them for.
Right, if we can get an overland here, we're gonna know pretty quick where,
Okay,
and,
All right,
what
right.
land the town owns, and it might not own any, and then it's a moot point. So then we're gonna go into the yellow zones, because
Right.
I'm sure somewhere in the yellow zones we own something. It's a matter of knowing what the water source is, how much it gets. That's where we're dealing with the drinking water program, and apparently they're fantastic. They'll kind of walk you through everything if you were considering doing a town
Sounds
water
interesting.
source. So that's where I did a little homework on that since last meeting. And that's where we might not need a hydrologist right now. Maybe you might need one down the road, but the drinking program is gonna be the ones that guide us through this. I did ask Michaela, and I think I forwarded the email to you guys, if there was a list of zones,
Mhm.
and the world is our oyster, which I did not like that answer. I was like, no, I'm very I like lists, and
Right.
like to be told these are my choices.
Yeah, what she's saying is you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, so, I mean, I was looking, and how many, Arundel has, how many zones? Yeah, 14 zones. And then you have, Portland would be ungodly how many
Yeah,
zones they
right.
have. So it's really, maybe we look at towns nearby and see what zones they have and see if anything would fit in our town with what we have.
Well, is Southern Maine going to recommend
That's what we're hoping they're going to do. So
if they
maybe
get money?
if we could look at a list of things that may suit our town, again, we're not saying it is, we're not saying it's going to happen. Maybe they could help us figure those things out.
Now, I have been talking to Michaela, obviously because of zoning ordinances and stuff and such. My understanding was that her next step for CPC was to come in and that we were going to formulate this future land use map. And this map basically identified areas that would be good for growth, identified, okay, this could be this zone, this would be great here, this would be great here, da, 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 da. And then from that, Ordinance Review Committee can kind of take the baton and go from there. Because the names of the zones,
What was it called again, future?
land use map. The names of the zones, how many there's gonna be, where they're gonna be, that's all gonna be ORC.
Right?
That's not gonna be
Right, no,
CPC.
yeah.
So I think we just need to find out from Michaela if, I mean, is she coming back? Are we gonna be working on that together? Or is she going to just say, yeah, this is what I think? I'm not sure, to be honest
I'm
with you, but.
emailing her, emailing her and CCing you on right now.
Okay.
To ask her, are we at the point, do we have the funding? Because I don't know what's left over.
Yeah.
I don't know what's been paid. I thought we had more data coming still.
I thought she was gonna do some smoothing or something.
I did too. I thought there was more data coming. And I hadn't heard from her beyond the question I asked about zones.
I mean, we would hope that with a comprehensive plan, that would be at a higher level. Wouldn't have to have the detailed information maybe that would be required for the ordinance review committee to promote new zones and things like that. I mean, they go together, but, what I'm saying is, we gotta get, we, seems like we want to get the comprehensive plan through, and that wouldn't have extreme amount of detail in it, probably. I mean, have
Right.
some, but then the ordinance review committee would take that information and create the details about, and maybe even
Yes.
such things as lot sizes and stuff like that.
Right.
Whereas a comprehensive plan would be at a higher level, but it would get it through so it could be
Yes.
voted on.
Right.
And,
But we can't do those things until.
no, we gotta get this information.
Right, we gotta, until CPC is done, or
Yeah.
close to done, or it's going to vote, then
Yeah.
ORC really can't, we're kind of.
You wasting time.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I just emailed her and asked her those questions. Do they have all the data and is it smooth to the point that the funding allowed? And, you know, are we at the point where we have funding, and now the next step is the future land use map. So that email just went out to her.
Good.
You know, tonight, again, we can work on the survey. That was it for the stuff that I did as far as like homework between last meeting and now. I know Dave, you found a contact for Avesta, right, Dave?
I have actually two other contacts that I reached out to, but unfortunately I was traveling, so I'm not sure if I got a response back yet.
So these are good things, like even with like the Agency on Aging, it's just nice to be able to know that we're gonna have maybe someone that can speak to us or some data coming from them as we go forward as well, for things we might wanna look at for, that could take place in town, or things that may be needed down the road. Tom was supposed to talk to the fire chief regarding growth zones and his input on it, because it's very important for our fire and rescue to be happy with how things are coming along and not be handed a snowball. So I'm sure Tom will work on that when he gets back. And then Kim was gonna work on the Regional Affordable Housing Coalition.
So basically what any of those coalitions are, they are advocacy groups
Mhm.
that advocate for certain causes and so forth. So in Maine, we have the Maine Affordable Housing Coalition. We have one called the Maine Parent Coalition. That one is more organized for families with children or loved ones with disabilities and finding appropriate housing or providing housing. Then we have the Quality Housing Coalition. So their purposes are like municipalities can join them and so forth, but their purpose is more for advocacy at a political level to get support for housing in the communities. I did look up as I got into my little rabbit hole, like there's supportive housing programs that offer some grants, but it's all tied into working with a contractor and somebody who's willing to take on those pieces that, well, they're the ones organizing it and they're getting like a tax break and those types of things. So there's very few that are, or there aren't really any that are directed like towards one of our specific things, which was elderly housing.
Yeah.
So those are what those coalitions are.
So what was this?
There are regions in Maine that have bigger coalitions, like there's I believe it's Central, Western Central has a bigger coalition, but theirs is all about housing for workers.
I found a
So-
program, and I didn't get to, I
Yep,
found,
the Grow Smart Maine is part of,
did you find that?
yep. I feel it falls under the Maine Affordable Housing Coalition.
Okay,
It's their Grow Smart, and then it has all different areas of growth.
okay, so, but they're still kind of politically driven, or is that?
Yeah.
it is-
So the coalitions definitely seem to be more advocacy groups.
Yeah.
They're sponsored by like AARP and, you know, Vesta Housing, and like they have all those sponsorships and
Right.
so forth for the causes that they're working towards driving.
So that's kind of like a last minute, are we even interested in calling them type of deal? It doesn't sound like they'd be very beneficial to us right now.
I looked even specifically to see if there were any like strong groups within York County. There's one that's called Portland and Greater Portland, like the outer regions.
Yeah.
But really, we fall more under the Maine Affordable Housing and the Maine Parent and the Quality Housing Coalitions. Those are more statewide.
Does anyone have any information? I only briefly saw it in the paper and did not have time to investigate the Kennebunk and Arundel, whatever project they have going on down there. Did anyone see that?
With the low income,
I'm not sure.
like affordable housing.
Is that what it was?
I feel like I saw something in the news.
It was in the news and it was in the paper, but I'm not sure.
In
Yeah,
the Portland Press Show?
Portland Press Herald, as well as,
Oh, Kennebunk. You're
Affordable housing
talking
development for seniors in Kennebunk.
it is
No.
with a, no,
No,
No?
it wasn't
Nope.
senior, it was just affordable. And it was the
here it is,
whole
Affordable Housing Initiative expands to Kennebunk and Arundel. Seacoast
Heritage,
Seacoast Online.
is it Heritage Homes or
Are these some form of mobile homes or something, or manufactured homes?
No, it's actual, this company is building affordable homes and they're
They're
doing
doing
that by getting sponsors.
Neighborhood Housing Trust.
Get money from the state or something, or get grants?
They are getting money from the
tax breaks.
state, but they're also involving other community
Yeah.
people that offer their services
Heritage
or
Housing Trust.
materials or whatever it is to build these very low cost homes.
Yeah.
And
According
then
to
they're
each
able
town's
to
character.
resell them at a
Like it-
lower rate.
yeah,
at
I'll
an
send you guys the
affordable
article, I
rate.
just found it.
Is
Like,
that what it is, Heritage?
is that what it said?
It was called Heritage Housing and now it's called Neighborhood Housing Trust.
Yeah.
But they also approved in March voters approved affordable housing project for seniors.
Oh, in Kennebunk?
70 affordable housing units
Where
for
was that?
seniors. Trying to find more information about it. That was approved in March of 2024.
Wow. And who is doing that?
Avesta.
Avesta
Oh,
is,
really?
Yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah.
with
In
Avesta.
Portland?
No, in Kennebunk.
In Kennebunk?
Yep, it's with Avesta Housing, it says.
Hmm.
So I reached out to Patrick Hess of Avesta. There's also Laura Reading Developers Collaborative out of Portland. And then the Xanton Company out of Portland. So with these 4 or 5 that we just mentioned, somebody's going to be interested.
Right, like I just saw Kennebunk Savings is supporting, asking people to support the project. All right, I'm gonna grab these 2 links and send them to
Alewife
everybody
Park
to
Road.
look at. Again, these are interesting things to know, to look at as we go. I think there's just so much, we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg as we start investigating. And most importantly is looking at, I think, the land we own in the town and where things could be put in certain zones.
They only had 6 applications for that Heritage Housing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what it said in July.
Hmm.
Yeah, it says, but I'm trying to find more information on the one with Avesta.
I just found it, I just sent it to you guys. I just sent you the link. So everyone will have that too to look at. Again, there's just, it seems like it's just like things pop up here and there. So it's like, again, your computers are listening to you.
There certainly are. It's kind of creepy.
And telling you telling you things.
Kind of creepy.
It is super creepy, people. Just laughing about Dawn.
He's laughing because he doesn't need them.
I know I'll shock you, but I don't turn my computer on every day.
Oh, Lord. So,
You
yeah,
have to have some level of fear for us, Don.
No, I don't. You guys are too technical.
So that's actually that same trust that changed to the neighborhood trust is doing the low-income housing and the affordable
oh,
senior housing.
really?
Yep,
Oh,
I just read your little article.
Huh.
all right. Well, I guess those are articles to read and
Yeah.
see where that takes us to.
Hmm.
So on to, I can find the second survey.
So Kennebunk and Arundel are involved in the trust.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to talk to their towns
Mhm.
and,
I was trying to find out who's doing the one in Biddeford.
oh, there's one in Biddeford too.
Yeah, right down by the new water company on South Street.
Oh, that's right. Across where that like place where the fence was.
Mm.
Huh.
It's not cars, right? Yeah,
I can't remember either.
I can't find that. But yeah, something.
Hidden Hills? No. Yeah, Hidden Hills
Is it-
Manufactured Housing Park.
No,
No.
no, it's not manufactured.
Oh, here it is, 195 unit manufactured housing community, proposed for South Street near Waterworks Drive.
Yes.
It's right
Okay.
here.
Does it say
That was,
who did it? Who's doing it?
this is from 2022, so I'm trying to find a more recent one. Here, approves new approach for serving. See, it's not Seeds of Hope.
What's it called?
I know. That's Seeds of Hope, that's not the right one.
Seeds of Hope. is-
Yeah, it's for the homeless. Yeah, where was it? Okay, let's see if I can find the name of it. Two preventative there for proposals. Hidden Hills.
Hidden Hills.
So let me see if I can find that for. Oh, it looks like, yeah, they have the phasing and stuff like that right here. They have their own website.
Have they been approved to go forward?
They're building now.
Yeah, they're building now. There's documents, properties.
Called Matthew Chamberlain.
What about that? They can put on the documents too. So there are things, I think, of people that we can reach out and talk to as we go forward again. Because they're probably dealing with the same thing we deal with when it comes to the, people not wanting change, but finding a way to make change that's not so huge. I think it's varying degrees and maybe how it can work for, what a builder could do or are willing to do. Seeing that we're not a city looking to do high rises.
Like the Kennebunk, Arundel, Kennebunk Fourth, their three goals are provide housing for local workforce, first responders, teachers, town employees, business owners, their staff, grow enrollment in their local elementary schools, balance in the aging population of their community, and contributing to a vital, diverse, engaged, and welcoming year-round community. Those are their four goals.
I like those goals. Those are good goals. All right, so that's kind of like the update from last meeting. I, unfortunately, again, because I have more than 3 computers, my stuff I was working on, the survey is at my other computer. in the
Don't worry.
office. Did anyone get a chance?
It would be better anyway to talk about it after we hear back from Michaela.
Yeah.
I think anyway, don't you?
Because we kind of listed some stuff here. We didn't have any graphs and data. I didn't know if anyone had anything they wanted to add to the 8 things we have right now for the second survey. Did you see that? The second survey was number 1, is housing, including rental housing, affordable to those earning the median income in the region? Is housing affordable to those earning 80% of the median income? If not, review local and regional efforts to address issues. These are things stuff for us to take and use towards a survey. Seasonal homes being converted to year-round use or vice versa. What impact does this have on the community? Will additional low and moderate income family, senior, or assisted living housing be necessary to meet projected needs for the community? Will these needs be met locally or regionally? How do existing local regulations encourage or discourage the development of affordable workforce housing? So these were stuff for us to kind of think about as we posed our questions, or if we had graphs or data we wanted to use for what we did get to put in here. Again, I think keeping the survey small and succinct is important.
For sure.
Michelle, your voice is too low.
Oh, I was facing the other way. Sorry, Dave. I just talked about we have 8 things we pulled from the presentation with Michaela as far as what we kind of look and think about as we formulate our questions for the next survey that's going to go out.
Yeah.
And again, keeping the survey succinct and not large, because I just think if it gets big, people are less apt to fill it out.
Agreed.
And multiple choice, I don't think, leave a final, fill in whatever they want at the end, but I think just multiple choice, choosing more than one option on some things, or yes and no and trues and falses are the way to go. When we do it.
I agree with you, but like I really got in like a rabbit hole looking at other towns' comprehensive plans that have been
Yeah.
approved by the state. Like I was looking at South Berwick's, just because the list that was there was the most closely connected to us of others.
Nice.
Amazingly enough, a lot of the northern towns have been turned in comprehensive plans and so forth. And they must have had quite a survey that went out.
Like
'Cause-
what towns?
so in South Berwick, so they asked questions like, why do you enjoy living in South Berwick? And they had 10 choices.
Do you have that survey?
I have their results, yeah.
Would that one include the questions too?
Yeah, it includes the questions and their results. And then they did kind of like an overview. And then there were questions about like land use, what's important to you? About their questions, I think of you, Michelle, like, is it important to have a village? Those were some of their questions.
Good question.
That they had on theirs. What?
Oh, here it is, I got it.
Yeah.
Want me to send it to you guys?
Yeah, why don't we?
So
It's 14 pages.
I kind of, well, just their questions. Yeah, that part. Because they include all the results. I just thought some of their questions were more of
Okay,
those overview
me-
things that we talk about.
Okay, so let me go ahead and save this and send this to everybody, and maybe we all can circle stuff we really like. And then kind of stuff our way. So
Granted, there's some differences between
Yeah.
South Berwick and us.
Yeah. They're
We
bigger
even
than
had a
us
question.
before.
Please rate your general desire for the following types of residential development: single family attached, senior housing. They ask those questions.
All right, Dawn, is it okay if it's a PDF or do you need Word? I can convert it. Just let me know what works best for you.
If you want answers, Word would be better.
Okay, I'll convert it for you.
I can,
No,
I get
it takes me
PDF.
2 seconds. It takes me literally 2 seconds to do it for you.
Does it do it automatically for you?
Yes, it does.
Peggy, refresh me, is LD 2003, that's the active one, right?
No, that's
That's
actually
gone.
passed. That's a
Okay.
House paper now.
So it's now a law.
Yes.
Okay, so they ask specific questions about that too. Like,
They did,
what is your desire for us to, really focus on some of these things like ADUs and density bonuses and duplexes and
Mhm.
so fourplexes.
Mhm.
So maybe it is good to do it long. I do think that anyone that is worried or has concerns either way, growth or no growth, anyone that has a concern about our town is gonna fill out a big survey. You know what I mean?
I think we ought to look at the timing on doing this, only in the sense that we probably ought to find out what services we're gonna get from Southern Maine. What I'm trying to say is sending out a survey really early and then we don't know what help we're gonna get from Southern Maine. Maybe we could tie them together and, not tie them together, but make sure we're meshing so that we know, the results can help us to decide what we want Southern Maine to do.
Yeah, no, I think this is just for us to be able to look at this and start compiling it.
Okay, how did the survey go out? Just, how would it go out?
Do a Survey Monkey or paper.
On the same, okay, the list?
So I'm sending it to you all in Word and PDF, so I think this will
Okay.
it's 14 pages, so that gives us
Okay.
something to do. And kind of start prepping it for after we have our meeting with Michaela.
Okay,
And then we can add any more from there or take away questions
Mhm.
from the survey, depending what information we get from Michaela
Oh, yeah.
and help. But
okay, sounds reasonable.
I do think that I don't want to depress y'all or anything, but I was talking to Hillary, a girl from the state, for ordinance review committee, and she and I got to talking about a couple things about LD 2003, but ultimately she firmly believes that something like LD 1976 that was in the legislature and was going to pass, but then got vetoed, she feels pretty strongly that that's going to come back.
Of course it is.
And
A little more help.
yeah. So that's just something to think about, because I think that Michaela should know, I would assume she would know, the best way to make sure that we don't get a month before this goes to vote and we have to redo it. I would like to hear that from Michaela, that, is there mumblings that are coming? Is it,
What was in this proposed bill?
this 1976 was like 2003 on steroids,
Yeah.
but as it pertained to comprehensive plan, like they
Ah.
want you to, identify these watersheds and, everything environmental and, identify your vernal pools and.
Invasive species,
Yeah.
All this
habitat.
without any funding. right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah,
That'd be
it made LD 2003 look like child's play. It really did.
Right.
And
She did say the comprehensive plan, and I do remember this conversation, the comprehensive plan, to create it under LD 1976 would be easier than what we're doing now.
because it's mandated.
But also because the data is there that would, like, the stuff we're looking for, like aquifers and water stuff,
All there.
that's all been collected because we asked for it, we have. So a lot of the stuff they're asking us to do under LD 1976, as far as like the data collection, that's the easy part, where we have it. It's the, what are we doing in our town to comply is the problem. Because we,
But it does take away
yes,
that forward-facing aspect where people, it's no longer who.
But you're
This
saying
party gets that party.
they're creating the rules and they're saying, telling us,
Yes.
you must follow these
Yes.
Do
rules.
this.
So you don't have to think about going and doing something
Not
else.
necessarily think about it, but we don't have to sit there and get
we can't
the
get
flack back
Ah.
saying,
It's not us.
you guys are trying to make our town look like Westbrook or whatever, because none of us want that.
No.
None of us, we love Lyman. We don't want our town to be Westbrook. But any growth, put it this way. I feel like fear is a very big emotion.
Yep.
And that's what I think people fear, is that our town is gonna grow too
Well,
much.
it's change.
It is change, for sure.
Yep.
And if the state mandates, then we don't have a choice but to comply with the mandate. The state's not gonna come in and say, you guys need to allow great big apartment buildings and so on and so forth. The state's might come in and say, hey, you know what, we screwed up on that LD 2003 and we didn't make you guys have certain lot area sizes or
Mhm.
whatever, you know what I mean? That's what
Enforce
they're,
that.
yeah, they're gonna do stuff like that, So, again, I didn't need to go down a rabbit hole with that, but I was just saying that perhaps we should ask Michaela if there's something, because we don't wanna get this to a June ballot, which I'm hoping we can get this to a June ballot. I don't know about everybody else, is that what everybody else is thinking?
If we can.
Is it possible?
If we can get, I think it is, and this is October. I think they have the data done and we're still, still waiting for more. I think, the next survey to go out will tell us even more of what direction to move everything in. But at the end of the day, LD 2003 is still mandated. And at the end of the day, we still have to do what the state tells us to do.
Well, LD 2003 is done though. As far as the ordinance review committee is concerned, that's done for us.
Right, but our comp plan doesn't even look anything near like LD 2003 or anything in it. Our comp plan is so far removed from,
Well, I mean,
I think it's literally, especially even just the biggest thing is our management change.
Yeah.
Right, it matches nothing.
well, I mean, I'm thinking, but, I just think comprehensive plan is, hopefully it's at high enough level where, how can I say this nicely?
We don't have to be nice to them.
No, what I'm saying is that we don't want to get into too much detail because that's what the ordinance review committee and ordinances will do. Because if we, and also you never know, the state in its infinite wisdom could help us some more by creating more regulations. And you gotta keep it at a high enough level so that the ordinances will contain the specifics. But again, how much detail do you want to put in the comprehensive plan? I mean, I think you need some, but I don't think you need, maybe you don't even need lot sizes. I don't know. I mean, in the comprehensive plan.
No, I
Oh,
don't-
I definitely
Yeah.
don't think we
Yeah.
need.
No,
lots of-
no.
Maybe you don't need zones, but maybe you need the concepts in there.
Yes.
And then the ordinance review
Yes.
committee
Yes.
implements the concept.
That's
I think,
absolutely.
I think comprehensive is this potentially may work, and then ORC and zoning or what, this is gonna work, this is what's working.
That's the rule.
And, you know, like, here we are talking about ordinance review committee and, you know, oh, let's add some zones or whatever, like that, you know, we've been looking at that on ordinance review committee day. But comprehensive plan, maybe we need to add some stuff to comprehensive plan too. You know, our, something environmentally, do we need to beef it up a little bit? You know what I mean? And that's really what I think we
I
need
hope
to
we
go
get
at.
some, that's where we want to get some help from Southern Maine too.
Exactly. But finding out where we are on the money level is important.
We can,
Money talks.
We just put in our budgets, we put our
Yeah.
budget in for CPC and ORC, correct?
yes,
So
That's for,
for 25. But I don't know, neither of us seem to know if we're out of money.
no.
So perhaps we can find out if CPC and ORC are both out of money.
Yes,
If CPC is and ORC isn't, can it be shoved over? Because I'm pretty
Reality.
sure
It
it's
should-
one
in
bucket.
reality, it is one budget, yeah.
I believe we discussed that the last time, and yes, we
It's
can.
one bucket, correct?
Yes.
And the
So-
last I remember, we have about 15K.
So if we had.
And I don't know how much has been used yet with the last,
I mean, this all gets back to Southern Maine
it does.
telling us,
Yeah, I
what
just
they
sent
use and all
everyone, South Berwick, off the data they collected, has their comprehensive plan. Dawn, don't cry, it's 280 pages.
what?
So.
But it is
But-
an overview, it really is not a detail.
Yes, but it's like a lot of maps and a lot of pretty things too. It's pretty,
It
it's
must
very
be.
lovely. So, and let's
Oh my
face it, we're
God.
not South Berwick, we're like a
Yeah.
quarter of their size, so.
Arundel's has 2 volumes.
Oh my
Yes, it
God.
does.
There's 2
It
volumes in
does.
Arundel.
I downloaded
What's
that
that saying?
too.
I'm from the government, I'm here to help you?
Yes, yes.
That's too much.
Now you're getting it, my friend. So, this is just stuff for us to look at, guys. This is,
Sure.
you know,
I will definitely look at it.
so hopefully help us figure out what the heck we're gonna do. Because I don't know what we're gonna do.
But again, I think we just gotta wait for Michaela.
I agree.
She's a busy girl, I know, but at some point we
Well,
gotta have our number come up, right?
I know.
I mean, we're a customer, so.
Right.
I just, an answer as to when would be good too. She's not gonna be able to do it for a period of time.
We need to know that. I mean, maybe we should let her know our goal of having this ready for June.
Yeah,
I had
that-
to,
but then she'll
yeah,
say,
that's a good idea.
she'll say what year.
Okay, so, yeah,
I had to have Lindsay reach out a couple times because I wasn't getting responded to.
Well, we don't want to, I mean, I hope we're trying to talk with one voice rather, I mean, because you don't want to have conflicting information coming from the town, different parts of the town. That wouldn't be good. And so
Yeah.
obviously.
No, I don't reach out to her about CPC at all. I only reach out to her about ORC, and that was about getting our budget and stuff
Right.
like that.
You have to have,
Um,
we need a budget. without a budget-
Michelle takes care of her with CPC, so.
Okay.
all right. Any other things you guys can think about?
No, so what's our timeline here? I mean, it sounds like, excuse me, Southern Maine Regional Planning is the number one thing, along with the budget for services.
Our timeline is dependent upon that.
And then we need that information to try to see when we can realistically get something done to go to voters, what year.
Yes.
I mean, we're
Yeah.
talking June, right?
Yeah.
June, but I don't know, that comes up pretty quickly. is my-
I'd like to hear if she thought that was a doable thing.
Yep, I just sent another
Okay.
email that you'll see to her regarding LD, another version of LD 1976, how that would impact us and what we're doing. I'll let her know a couple comp plans that we like and that we've looked at, and can we kind of potentially go in those kind of models for directions for the data that we have. So I guess that's waiting to see and hear back from her. What she
Yeah,
has.
I don't know, one other question I'm just thinking about, you're talking also to the town manager, I assume,
Yes.
so that we're not, shouldn't have some divergent idea or
Correct,
something.
no,
So we're all pretty much.
yes.
same page.
I copy the town manager on every email I send.
Me
Okay,
too.
good.
So
Good.
she's,
I
caught-
just
no
wanna make
matter,
sure.
no matter what committee I'm on, she's CC'd on everything I send.
Well, she may get overload, but
She does, but she knows to just tuck my stuff away. She looks at it when she
it's
can.
easy to
Mhm.
hit the delete button too.
Yeah, no, she tucks them in a folder, just so it's for posterity too, and again, transparency. I want people to have what I'm sending.
Yeah, no, I think
Yeah.
that's right. That's the way to do it.
So that's all. She's CC'd on everything I send.
Okay,
So anyways, I just sent those emails. She's
Okay, so
CC'd
you
on
read
those, Thomas as well.
Mhm.
And again,
all right.
I think the big thing too is, again, I think getting the chief's input on all of this, for a comp plan of what we're kind of making the
Mhm.
community look like and how that impacts it.
Getting
Mhm.
The
Fire.
community, the fire chief.
No, I think, obviously,
a lot.
there's issues there, and I don't know how you solve some of them, because the roads the existing roads in some areas are extremely difficult to get to the facility, to the house with the equipment.
Right.
So I'm not sure what you can do about that, but.
Right, but I think like, for instance, if we're looking at pockets of growth,
Mhm.
what does he foresee is, a concern that we should be kind of on the lookout for anyone looking to do the developing, like what? To make sure he has some kind of say on,
Yeah, water supply, things of
yeah,
that
but
nature.
even though there's water supply that's required by some of these, I think there's other things that come into play, how people lay
Access.
things out. Like maybe there's only one ingress and there really needs to be in
Well,
and out.
now, I would say that in the past at least, the planning board has looked into that. I mean, with the review of a subdivision, for example.
Yep.
To ensure that there's a turnaround or a hammerhead or something, so
Mm.
and there's enough width for emergency vehicles to get through, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
That being
Which
said.
he's really good about in ordinance
Yeah.
review committee. I mean, he's all over that
Yeah.
ordinance review.
That's great.
Yeah.
That doesn't help us with existing, but it helps us with future.
But even like for, zones, if there's like, if you're gonna allow certain things to come in here and build in here as businesses, his thoughts and ideas on that as well. What he would like to see.
Yeah.
Or areas he'd like to keep it contained to. You know what I mean? That maybe is best for, where we haven't thought about, like, we allow this over here in general purpose, but this is really not. This is a more dangerous area because of whatever trees are there or whatever swampy area, whatever. Maybe there's a place
No,
that
I
just
agree.
gets
Agree.
grosser
Agree.
than, drier than the rest of Lyman, and you wouldn't want that to be where we put a wood fire burning company or something, an outdoor barbecue pit at the driest portion of Lyman. Things like that, just to get his thoughts on what he's experienced with the roads, with people, so I know is it the road, ordinance that's a little bit of an overkill there, but is there something that works better?
Yeah, I would say that there's some issues with the road
Yes,
ordinance.
there is. Yeah,
Just
I
depending on the way there's some areas where it needs to be probably tweaked.
Yeah, it's a little overzealous
It can be, yes, it
Yep.
can be.
for your average bear who's trying to afford a home.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anything else you think we can do tonight anymore?
No, I just, as long as we're trying to move forward but it seems like our major hangup right now is, possibly budgeting, but then Southern Maine. So
Yep.
if we could resolve those two issues, that will help us get a timeline.
Yep,
And
I
see
know.
whether we can be realistic or not.
I submitted, because we point blank asked Michaela, the town manager, and I, how much would it cost to get full hands-on help? So we have asked for, because I honestly just truly believe with what a big issue this is for a small town, that we need the experts telling us.
Well, I think you either pay now or pay later, because if you spin your wheels and do a lot of stuff and then it doesn't work, you're back to, where you were, and then you're just wasting time.
Well, and then you have, oh, lay people did this, or someone you have that, oh, someone had an
It's just-
agenda while they're
Oh,
doing it,
yeah,
and
I
it's
know,
just,
I know.
There's
It's
too much
not-
division.
it's too much
Too much
division
division.
about so much in this town that it's not, so
Does
some,
anybody need any leaves?
No.
I've got a lot of leaves I'll give you. Come and pick
Free?
them up. Yeah, come and pick them up.
my son would say, it's not safe, you know, his little son, no.
You got some
Um,
leaves, I can't stand.
Yeah, so emails have gone out to her while we're
Okay.
sitting here.
Good.
We, I think all came up with some good research, you know, it was good to just kind of gather and
Well, I didn't know anything, but you guys did.
get our minds, well, I expect some bits from you, Dawn, on those.
Don't
documents.
worry, I still have that
Get your
ability.
highlighter out, my friend. If you need Post-its, I'll
What
supply.
I need is a major shredding machine to get rid of some stuff, but
Dawn's gonna come with leaves taped to his pages.
there you go.
All right, so, yeah, I think we all kind of have some reading to do before now,
Yeah.
and next time we meet with Michaela to potentially have this done by June, if she kind of knows the direction we're kind of looking to head.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is if she can't do it, I hope let's just say I can't do it.
Right,
So we don't want to spin our wheels and think we're gonna get it, not get it.
I mean, they can't be the only town town.
No, I'm sure there's a lot of
no,
work,
I don't know who else
so.
there is, but if anyone wants to dig on that,
What do you mean showing that?
there's other people that do
There are
this
other
planning.
regional planners.
Oh,
I do believe, I mean, they're great, but, I mean, it's, you know,
Well,
oh,
I
I
don't
didn't
mean to
even
be,
think of that. Is there any other
that's what,
organization that would
Yeah.
help us?
yeah,
Well, I
that's
mean-
what I'm wondering.
like, I'm wondering if this comp plan that we're looking at now, who did that one?
So that me,
They did,
yeah, it's in their opening.
They did a Arundel
they
too,
did a Rundle too.
but they went, here you go. Do it.
Well, they just gave turnkey.
Yeah.
Just go do it.
Which is kind of what
Do
we're doing too, though. We're
Well,
trying
we're
to.
trying to,
We're trying to.
but we don't
Right.
get the money for
We
it.
have to get approved by the town, correct?
Yeah.
Um,
No,
yeah. Well, I mean, we already are behind, so it has to be done. So hopefully the taxpayers can see that, you know, the state is requiring this to be done. We're already behind
Yeah,
in
well,
getting it done. We're
it's
given a
really-
grace period, but
It's, honestly though, it's not, the ordinance is horrifying. I think you'll attest to that. It's a disaster. And we cannot, I mean, yeah, it served us for a lot of years. It no longer serves as a community.
Well, the problem is you, and that's where, coming from, having been on the planning board for a long time, the tendency is to look at errors and fix specific errors, but you don't do an overall picture. And you deal with the ordinance you have. You don't go out and try to create, you shouldn't, I mean, the planning board shouldn't try to create things that aren't there.
Right.
But it gets you into a bind, even though there are some places where it says, but not limited to, but it's
Right.
another issue.
Yeah,
we don't want to hear those words again, ever.
Well, I mean, I don't know, you want to have some flexibility, but it's a tough situation. But we need an overall,
but,
that's the
you
main.
you know,
we need
I mean,
an
it
overall.
even, I mean, just the zoning ordinance, it references sections that aren't even there.
Yeah, I mean.
I mean, we sat at our committee meeting last time, we sat at the committee meeting.
Mm.
There's 7 of us at the table. There was at least 3 different versions of the zoning ordinance.
What?
Not as in versions, as in they were all, but like, we're on page 62.
Oh,
And then Georgia goes over to page 62 and it's not the same page. So there's
That's crazy.
different, you know what I mean?
There's configuration.
And it's like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, there's something in that one. Can we compare them? I don't know. Should we? Da da da. But it's bad. And again, the map, our official zoning map.
Yeah, the map is.
You know, we had somebody come to the public meeting saying, oh, it's not the date, da da da. There's like 4 different dates on 4 different official
Yeah.
maps. And they're all different, you know? So, I mean, there's just no conformity. And that's why I say that these documents no longer serve the community.
No, they don't.
Well, and the main thing is let's push forward in a logical way. And but if we don't get Southern Maine, we're gonna have problems.
We are,
No, agreed.
for sure.
I
For
think
sure.
this
That's the
is,
main
I
thing.
I
agree.
think this level of of the things that are coming down the pike and the level of where our town is at is beyond
Mm.
the bailiwick of a layperson.
I agree.
There's
100%.
no, if none of us had jobs and this is
Mhm.
all we had to do every day, it would still take us a hell
Yeah,
of a
but
time.
I think you need a level of expertise that, and especially Southern Maine presumably looks at a lot of towns. And they can get the ideas and the consistency. And somebody might have a great idea, but it might not work.
Right.
Southern Maine would hopefully be able to say that. Maybe not, but.
Yeah.
We gotta get some action.
Yep. Well, we'll see, if she can, our next meeting, I wanted to check that
When's the
really
next
quick,
meeting?
is,
Going into the
I'm
holidays
going to
now.
my calendar. The next meeting, oops, is,
Public voting week?
let's see, the 31st.
It'll be the
Seventh.
It's the
7th.
7th.
Which is election
So
week.
is, yeah, election week. Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, when I
Yep.
say I don't care, it doesn't bother me.
I'm okay with that.
The 7th, and you're gonna do you can't do the 28th, obviously, it's Thanksgiving, but
Right.
I don't know if you're gonna do the 7th and the 21st.
Well, I have it for the 21st, but I also can't make that one. If we do, I have 7th on my calendar, but for the 21st, I have parent-teacher conference and I have a school board meeting. So you guys can meet without me though, if that's what needs to happen. I am available that Tuesday if we want to swap it around. And if Tuesday's available.
Amazingly, I'm available any of those
Yeah,
days.
so that's just a heads up for the week of the 18th. The 21st will be out for me. Yeah, that's it. And I guess it's basically, we'll see if we can get Michaela for the next meeting.
Mhm.
So I can let her know that
Yeah.
You got something
That
to
would be
say?
great.
That the 7th is our next meeting. Can she make that one?
Yeah, and hopefully just tell us what you can do and what you can't do, so we know where we're going.
And hopefully we'll know by then if we can just say, hey, do this.
Well, we gotta have an answer on the money.
Right.
I would assume.
Right.
Okay, well, I'm trying. I appreciate your efforts. I haven't done much except give you a comment now and again, but appreciate your efforts.
Mhm.
Try to
No,
keep this
Don,
organized.
you're very helpful to have here, Don, so don't belittle what you contribute.
I try to stay awake.
I'm counting on you for the nits because I know you're listening. so-
I am listening, don't worry.
I know you're
I haven't
listening.
given up on it.
Yeah.
You still there, Dave?
I am.
Okay, good.
All right.
All right, so I'll entertain
to adjourn.
second.
Second?
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
All right.
All right, Dave, thanks for joining us, my friend.
Thank you all. Talk to you
Take
soon.
care.
I could hear him actually pretty well. That was good. We're gonna be on YouTube again?